this video or series of videos, I don't know whether it'll be one video, 2 or 3 videos, we're basically going to be tackling three areas on the Corolla to give it a bit more street cred. And those areas, of course, will be handling, ride height, performance, sound and look. Okay, I understand that's more than 3, but basically I'm going to be doing the springs, putting lowered heavy duty springs in the car. I'll also be replacing the exhaust and touching up a few areas with some paint such as wheels, and chrome badges will be painted to try and make it a bit more fun and exciting to drive, which is something the Toyota Corolla is not particularly well known for, and make it look a bit better and be a little bit more individual. So anyway, so let's have a look and see what we're starting with.
So this is it. This is my 2009 model Toyota Corolla, completely stock standard. Nothing's been modified. I've had this car for 4.5 years. It's been a great car. Done about 220,000 kilometres in the car since having the car, and she still drives like new. But in the sporty fun or individualistic department, it's probably a bit lacking.
For the first job I decided to tackle the suspension or the springs. So these are a new set of lowered springs. They're a heavy duty spring, so they should firm the ride up a bit. They're not terribly low. They're lowered 30 millimeters over standard height. If you need to know what that is in the Imperial, it's an inch and learn metric. Yeah, so these are King springs that are purchased off eBay. They're not particularly expensive. I think $270 or something I paid for these. If you haven't tackled this job before, changing springs in a car, it's not particularly hard. You're going to want, it certainly helps to have a rattle gun, and the other thing you're definitely going to need is a pair of these. Don't tackle this job without these. Is spring compressors, and you'll see why when it comes to using those if it's a job you haven't done before. Alright, so let's get started. Gently prying this out of its clips. There we go. Hopefully there's no other surprises. There we go.
And that'll give us a better access to our strut tops, which you'll see just here. And now it's time to jack the front of the car up, get the front wheels off. Okay, so next we just want to start removing any of the pieces attached to the strut, because we're going to have to take the strut out. So you've got this anti-roll bar rod attachment here, and you've got a bracket here that holds the brake hose, and also an electrical wire there as well, which I would assume is something to do with the ABS. So let's see how we go. So next we move up top and we'll release the strut from the top. Now before you do this, you want to put your jack underneath your hub, or just at least take the weight down here so it doesn't drop straight away. I'll take this into the garage. So once we've removed this dust cap here, it reveals this nut down here, which actually holds this whole assembly together, and it's actually holding this spring under compression. So the next step is to get our spring compressors on there. Alright, so I like to wait until the spring has completely separated from the top. You can see we've got movement there, so the complete compression of this spring is now contained within these spring compressors, and like I said, you don't want to do this without these. If you were to take this nut off without these, this would come flying off with such force it will take your head off. Alright, so next, to get this top nut off, and you definitely want a ratchet gun or impact gun for this job. There we go. Take that plate off. There we go, a spring on the outside. There we go, and we're off. Alright, so put it out there. So now to put our new spring on, we're going to need to compress this as well. Let's have a look at now. Obviously you'd say, well, this one's more than 30mm shorter than this one, but this is a heavier rated coil, so it won't compress as much either. Alright, so when you put your springs on, you want to seat into the same seat as the factory. If you've got compressed coils at one particular end, they go at the top. So seat that in there, like so. And then spin on next.
press stop now. Alright, so now that the spring is on there securely, putting it back in is just a reverse exactly of taking it out, so I won't show you that. Now the next big difference you'll notice on the rears is they're not a coilover arrangement like the front. There's their damper or shock there, and there's the spring. Now this is still under compression. What I've done though is I've put another jack under the wheel here to take up the compression with the weight of the car so that we can undo the nut at the top of the shock, and then hopefully we'll be able to just simply lower it down, swap the spring round and do the same again on the other side and put it back up again. Alright, so as you can see there, removing the nut at the top of the strut here involves putting an Allen key into the top that stops the threaded shaft from spinning, and then turning the nut with the spanner. There we go. Fiddly bastard. Rightio, so once we've undone that nut at the top there, we should be able to just slowly release the jack and it'll all come down, like so. Okay, so it turns out the reason why I was having so much difficulty getting the first one out there and getting this one in is because I had the jack under the torsion bar or cross brace at the back here that ties the two hub assemblies together on either side, and obviously then that was still providing some compression. So once I got the rear of the car sitting on a stand, took the jack out, spring popped right out. So that's pretty much it. All I've got to do on the rear here is take the spring compressor off, jack the hub assembly up so that we put the nut on the top of the strut there, put the wheel back on, we're good to go. So I'll bring you back once that's all done and show you the final product. Moving on to phase 2 now for project give a 2009 model Corolla some street cred. We've done the springs now, moving on to appearances was next, and so that's basically going to involve painting or dechroming, painting out basically, not really dechroming because I'm not removing anything. I'm going to be painting the badges and the wheels to matte black. The product I'm using is this one here. There's a number of products available on the market. This one available in Australia, Plasti-Dip. Used it a few times, it seems to be okay. So all these products basically work the same. They're a peelable rubber product, so you spray them on just like a spray paint. Give them a few coats, half an hour between coats, after thoroughly cleaning and prepping the surfaces, of course. and if you change your mind or you don't like it, you can peel it off. You can also get this stuff in large tins, or you can buy. I got these on eBay. Don't go to your store and buy these. I think for us in the store, these are around about $27 a can. I was able to purchase 4 of these cans online for I think $70. So there's a bit of a saving there. There are people online that will sell bulk lots of these, up to 12 or 20 cans of these, and you can do your whole car in them. You can also, if you've got spray gear, buy tins of the stuff that you can blow through your spray gun, do your whole car. If you get sick of that colour, then you can just peel it off and start again. You can also use the stuff as like a paint protectant or chip protector to stop chips in your paint and that sort of thing. But yeah, so today I'm going to be doing the badges and all the chrome on the car, and also the rims. So again, just basic preparation with the badges. Wipe them down with some wax and grease remover, tape around them. You don't have to tape into all the intricate little pieces on your badges, and I'll show you that as it gets done. You just paint, you mask around the badge, paint over the whole lot, and because you've got that slight gap between your badge and the bodywork or paintwork, the outside overspray should actually peel off. So you can see here, as I was saying before, there's no need to mask into all the individual crevices and cracks that you want to miss. Just tape all the way around, and the theory is spray over the whole lot, 2 or 3 or 4 coats, half an hour between coats. Once the final coat is dry, then you should be able to carefully peel off the remainder, just leaving the stuff on the badge. So first coat will just be a light dust coat to assist with adhesion, and then wait half an hour and continue. Try to come in from various angles, make sure you get in all those crevices. Alright, so this one here's had about 4 coats now, and let's see how that goes coming off. Alrighty, we can see, there you go, it's just peeling off, leaving the stuff on the badge behind. It's quite thick and strong. I'll try and get this masking off first. Just cut that, because it'll help with my scout while we sharp. Something open. Come out. There you go, look at that, eh? Pretty cool. Sticking to the badge. Right in there as well. It'll all come out perfectly, just about. Okay. I'm pretty pleased with that. Alright, so we'll go around the car and do the rest. Now that the paint's done on Project Give the Corolla some more street cred, Time to move on to phase 3, which is the exhaust. Basically what I'm doing, I've removed the factory exhaust from the car from the end of the factory header. So you've got the catalytic converter here, runs into a primary muffler. The pipe then continues, it goes into the rear secondary muffler. The pipe up to this point here is 2.5 inch, and then it feeds into this first muffler and it comes out as 2 inch. So what I'm doing is I'm replacing this large muffler here with a 2.5 inch resonator or hot dog. It's a straight through performance type piece, and it's just a perforated pipe through the centre there and glass packed. Now because this is already 2.5 inch, I'm not replacing the catalytic converter because I'm assuming it's in quite good condition, and it will be at least 2.5 inch flow through there. Generally from factory there's a fairly high flow. The other thing in the advantage of using this factory pipe here, which as I said is already 2.5 inch, it's got the port here for the second of the O2 sensors. So my thought process in this is what I'm going to do. Where I'm going to start is I'm going to start by cutting this muffler off here, weld it on here, and then take it from there. Basically, this looks just long enough that I'll be able to use these pickup points on the body. I'll have to fabricate a bracket for these hangers here. I may not use these actual hangers. I've got some 12mm rod. I might just bend up and around here and some sort of configuration. But what I'll do, I think this is going to involve a lot of having this in and out over today and probably tomorrow, and yeah, we should end up with a nicer sounding system and hopefully an improvement to performance. Okay, so that's now the first section completed now from the from the catalytic converter. This is where your factory header connects. This is your catalytic converter. That's the factory 2.5 inch pipe. So we've welded on the resonator here. The black there is just some exhaust paint that I've put over the welds just to offer me a little bit of rust protection there. We come down again, we've welded straight pipe into the back of that now. A 2.5 inch pipe comes straight down into a 45 bend, and I've got a flange, 2-bolt flange on the end there, and there's a hanger. You can just see a hanger bracket there that goes into a rubber that's mounted on the car at the moment, and the other hanger comes out here and comes out the other side. It's been in and out test fitted half a dozen times. Fits nicely, sits a little higher probably than the factory, doesn't rub on the body or anything like that, so plenty of clearance. I'm pretty happy with that, so I'm going to go and mount this in the car now permanently so this won't come out again. Alright, so we're all finished on the car now, so I'll take you for a bit of a walk around and we'll review the end result. Let's have a look. Okay, so there's a look from the front with the matte black wheels. Do a bit of a walk around, badge on the front, now matte black. In front wheel there, slightly lower than when we started. And also the badges on the back there. To give you the wide angle view, that's what she looks like now. So I think appearance wise, I think it looks better than when I started.
So I suppose that's a positive. As for the exhaust, it has turned out quite loud. Probably, is it too loud? I don't know. I'll start the car up and you can have a look. So to answer the initial question that we were looking to resolve, is it possible to give a 2009 model Toyota Corolla some street cred? I say the jury's still out. I mean, I like the looks. It's an improvement. Yeah, I don't mind the exhaust sound. It sounds alright. My main issue with that is that an exhaust like that you expect to be coming out of something that's got a little bit of power, and so at the end of the day, you know, for me it's all about power over looks. I don't know, I'm not prepared to say that I think we've maybe improved the car. Definitely it needs some more power. I mean, it's still 100 horsepower stock Toyota Corolla motor, so yeah, maybe I'll give it some thought in terms of what I can do to resolve that issue as well. Again, on a budget. So the improvements I've done over the last 2 days, if you're interested in doing any of this sort of stuff yourself, I would certainly recommend doing it yourself over paying someone to do it. Certainly if you're on a budget. That exhaust, which is a catback 2.5 inch straight through system with a 14 inch resonator and the straight through muffler, pretty much. I bought all the individual pieces from a retailer for I think right on $300 with the flanges and the gaskets and everything. It's all mandrel bent bends, and I think you would probably pay that again, if not more, in labour alone, if you were going to pay somebody to do it. I've never done an exhaust before, but I don't think I would ever pay anyone to do one after the experience I've had with this one. It really isn't too hard. It would certainly be a lot easier if I had the car up on a hoist. Getting underneath the car while it's on jack stands is a bit of a pain, especially this morning we had rain and I didn't have time to stop, so I was in and out and soaking wet, rain, cold and freezing winter. Anyway. So yeah, if you've got a MIG and you can weld, I'd certainly recommend doing the exhaust yourself. What else did I do? The springs I got off eBay for $270, including GST and shipping. Again, do that yourself. I do know from previous experience that generally a mechanic is going to charge you around about 1 hour's labour per corner. So you're looking about 4 hours labour, and they generally charge $100 plus per hour. So you know, you're going to save yourself about $400 doing that job yourself as well. The paint, again, eBay purchase. I was able to buy 4 cans for I think about a $40 saving over what I would have paid in a store, and that was really an easy product to use. Early on when I started spraying, particularly the wheels, I really tried to use a fairly standard spray technique, but I found with this stuff, just after you've done the first couple of light coats, just lay it on thick. It seems to really like that. I didn't use any masking on the wheels after all, and I was and I'm reasonably happy, I would say. Certainly with the wheels and with the badges, before you just try to rip off any of the excess, give them all a decent amount of time to dry. Just don't wait the standard half hour between coats.
once you're done, probably leave it to the next day if you can, and you're less likely to remove any of the stuff you want to keep and rip off the stuff that you don't. So yeah, that's that. So look, I hope you enjoyed that. Maybe you can vote through likes and dislikes, maybe, or make a comment if you think it's an improvement. Like, if you think it's not, leave a comment. You know, it's all good. Try and be constructive, obviously. And thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Cheers.